I'll call this meeting to order at 9:37. Do we have any announcements? Okay. Do we have any public comment? Let me see. We don't have any public, so I guess there's no public comment. Do we have any board comment?
Yes, I have a board comment.
Okay.
Last week, the school committee, after they did their closing of the year, they realized they had close to $600,000 from the FY25 budget unspent. That was the budget that we passed the override. So there were people in town that saw that coming, that the school budget wasn't, it wasn't in par, it didn't make sense. But if you supported the override, you should be very upset, as I am, that we did what we did to support the schools and that money went unspent. If you didn't support the override, you should be just as upset that we increased your taxes, we charged you taxes, and that money went unspent. So this board comment is to ask people to feel a little bit outraged and reach out to, your elected officials and ask questions, and don't let that happen again. So that's my comment.
Okay. Thank you for enlightening us.
And
That's
that's
very interesting. Okay, we have two sets of minutes to approve, July and August.
Can you pass it on? Take one. Here's yours. Okay.
Oh, do you have some go the other way?
I did, so
Okay.
we just need that signed.
All right. So July's, we didn't do from last time. Do I hear a motion to approve July's minutes?
So moved?
Second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, July's minutes are approved. All right, now we move on to August. Do I hear a motion for approval?
So moved?
Second?
Second.
All right, any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we have two sets of minutes approved. Thank you very much. Okay. The Tea Party, I believe, the last I heard, that all the tickets are sold?
Yep.
All right, that sounds great. So, for all of you that are helping out with that, thank you so much. I think it's going to be an amazing event with the theme of the Roaring Twenties. I think they may need some help still, so if you're so inclined to help out, reach out to Kat, or someone at the front desk will help you out with how you can help out with that. The next item on the agenda is volunteer recognition. We've traditionally had a volunteer recognition in September or August or in the fall, and I think that's kind of fallen through the cracks.
No.
No?
I was
Are we
under the
doing it?
impression that Sue had done it because she wanted to do it before she left and appreciate the volunteers. National Volunteer Appreciation Week is in April 19th to the 25th, and we have a celebration planned for Monday, April 20th.
Okay, all right. We've always done it in the fall, but that, okay, if you've got it planned for then? Okay, great. Then I won't worry about it. We've always done it
In the fall?
in the fall.
I was told that it was done in the fall because she wanted to do it before she left, but maybe I was told wrong information, which is,
Yeah.
Could happen.
No, we've always done it
In the
in the
fall?
fall. Yeah,
Okay.
because the firemen came and we had a cookout and, well, late summer, fall.
Yep.
I want to say August, September. I didn't think about it until I was looking through my notes, and I believe we always did it in the late summer, early fall.
I think it has to do with, membership of the board, so that's why
Yeah.
the fall.
We always did it in the fall, but if you plan something, you
Yeah.
want to plan something for
Monday, April 20th.
April? Okay, that's great.
Mark your calendars.
Okay, that sounds good. I didn't realize there was a national one.
There
I was
is.
just thinking about it because the volunteers have been extraordinary
Yes.
So,
1,000%.
Okay.
Yeah, Volunteer Appreciation Week, the National Week, is the entire week.
okay.
So, we
Sounds
do
good.
a celebration on Monday, but we'll probably have little things throughout the week
Okay.
as well.
Sounds awesome. Someone asked about the Hometown Heroes program at the last meeting, and I found out that Jennifer Sanderson is the one that's taking that on. She's on the Historical Commission. If you came to the Boston Post-Cane, it was her grandfather, Charles Sanderson, who was the honoree. And I have not reached out to her, but that came up at the meeting, and she's the one that's in charge of that. I haven't followed up with her, but I can't remember who asked about that, but she's the one that was taking that on. There's my doctor. I'm ignoring that. Okay, speaking of the Historical Commission, I'm going to wait for my doctor to stop calling me so I can read you something. I received a letter from Bill Laxo at the Historical Commission. If I can get to it. Okay. Hi, Debbie. I want to share this with all of you. I need your input and direction, knowing you have the answers. I rarely have the answers, just so you know. The Historical Commission wishes to restore, note that word, restore, the practice of presenting the oldest citizens the Boston Post-Cane. For that purpose, we have purchased a replica. I'd like to know who's in charge of the unofficial ceremony presently conducted. I know the chairman of the select board most recently did the presentation of a certificate and lapel pin, and local politicians also participated. But does the Senior Activity Center, as possessor of the authentic cane, organize the event? In other communities, the ceremony is conducted by the historical commissions, historical societies, select boards, etc. I'd like to make contact with the individuals who are presently involved to let them know we have a cane. Thanks, Bill. I can't get to my next, oh, here we go, okay. I wrote back, hi, Bill. I'm sorry, I just took the liberty of responding without your whole board permission. Nice to hear from you. The original responsibility of the Boston Post-Cane presentation was given to the Select Board when it was created in 1909. Since that was a changing entity, meaning the Select Board, and it frequently fell through the cracks, responsibility was given to the Senior Center in 1969, and we have had the honor of holding the presentations in conjunction with the Select Board since that time. The certificate and lapel pin were presented from the Lunenburg Adult Activity Center. The Historical Society would be a welcome addition to all of our future presentations. Thank you for reaching out, Debbie. I can't get, there we go. He writes back. Thanks, Debbie. We'll be happy to meet with you and whomever else soon to establish policy, etc. By the way, it is the Historical Commission, not the Society, although I'm involved with both. At that time, I contacted Caesar and I said, I just need to be aware of the protocol because I don't want to be wrong, but my understanding is that the Select Board had handed it over to the Senior Center. And he said, yes, you're absolutely right. So I wrote back after talking to Caesar, and I said, do you want to have a meeting with him? Because I don't want to go any further with this. I wrote back and said, Bill, you're welcome to set up a meeting with the Select Board Chair, but I believe the protocol is already set up between the Select Board and the COA. I can't find any prior precedent involving this Historical Commission. Best, Debbie. He writes back, good morning, Debbie. You are correct in that the Historical Commission has had no participation in the past. The Commission only is of the opinion that the presentations would benefit by having an actual cane, and we are delighted to have the opportunity to furnish one. This should only enhance the presentations and not upset protocol. The only issue is how to handle the cane following the presentation. The commission needs to decide if it is only used for the presentation or if it is kept by the recipient for the period of time, returned to heirs, etc. I expect this will be on the agenda of the commission's September meeting. Very simply, we are offering the COA a cane as our donation for the presentations. I said, sorry for the confusion. Your original email used the term restore, so I thought you meant the commission was initially involved. As I said in my first response, we would be pleased to include you in our ceremonies. I think it would be a great asset. I would welcome your comments.
All right. I understand the protocol that has been created here, that we keep the original and the celebration, we add the person's name, and we keep the original in order to have issues that why so many have been lost. I think taking that we have, 3 full-time staff in this center only, if they want to handle the protocol, giving and managing it back, I don't see an issue if they want to handle. But I don't think, we want to add to another thing that we do and be responsible for collecting the replica, because we would run into the same issue. People move out of town, unfortunately, people pass away, and then you need to get in touch with their heirs and so forth. It's a big undertaking. But if since they have a beautiful replica, if they want to take on that job, be my guest.
I wonder if Bill is referring to the fact that I was at that presentation to Mr. Sampson, and Mr. Sampson,
Mr. Sanderson, yes.
Sanderson,
Yeah,
excuse me.
that's right.
He was very adamant about
I agree.
that he wanted the cane, and he didn't understand why, if this presentation was occurring. And I know that Bill's a good friend of his,
Yeah.
and Bill was at that same table. So I can see where this is coming from. But I agree, the whole reason that we stopped physically giving the cane out is because, we lost track of them.
Yeah, right.
So,
And I don't know how much this replica cost, if it's a cost that they're willing to eat.
If they
the
wanted-
replica, I know
Yeah.
the original would be
Right, right, right.
horrendously
Right.
expensive.
But the replicas, informally, we kept the real one. It's in the selectman's office, and it's under glass, and it does not go anywhere. But we did give out a replica. It was $25 on Amazon. Just-
Yeah,
Really?
so that's what I'm saying. If
Yeah.
it's $25, let the person have it and then don't worry about it.
Well,
And,
How often do you give one
the
out?
Council on Aging Board, you guys do most of the work for the presentation anyways. Deb is essential in that, so it's not a whole lot on the staff.
No, right, I didn't want to add something
Yeah.
that could possibly land on the staff.
so do you have any objections to what I said at all?
No.
Or do you?
No, we agree.
So I talked to Caesar. I said if he wants to follow up with you, I just made sure that I was correct on the protocol. Caesar said, yes, this
I
is
think
how.
it would be wonderful to include
And I
them
said
in
that.
our presentation.
As I said,
Yes.
you are welcome to bring a cane and be part of our presentation. I thought it was interesting that it was the Historical Commission rather than the Historical Society, Historical Commission being buildings and so forth, rather than the Historical Society, but I think that's because Jennifer Sanderson is on the Historical Commission.
Oh.
And as you said, I think it relates back to Charles. But anyway, if you're all set with how I handled that, I just wanted you to be aware. When anything like this comes up, I'm hesitant to involve the whole board in an email like this, but I want you to be aware of what happened. So that happened. Okay. In the minutes, I should have brought this up during the minutes. In the minutes, there's a reference to 41A. We didn't exactly take a vote on it, but Jack asked me if we could take a vote on him going further with the 41A. Since it's not on the agenda, but since it was in the minutes, he asked me if we could just get an official approval for him to go further on that. So do I hear a motion that Jack can go further on the 41A?
Can I just ask, go further as relate to, in specific, what actions?
Just continue to work on the 41A, which is it's referenced in the
Is
minutes.
it tax, is a
Yeah,
tax exemption?
it's a tax exemption.
Right.
Yes.
So to allow him to represent the Council on Aging?
Well, it's not Council on Aging, it's just the town, but he's
Oh.
been working on it, but it relates to seniors.
And the vote is
Just to give our approval for him to
Jack to continue
to work on it.
work on it? Okay. I make a motion to have Jack.
Support Jack.
To support Jack, representing the Council on Aging and working with the town to keep working on the 41A tax exemption.
Perfect. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Anybody opposed? No. All right, thank you. There's no discussion on that, right? Okay, thank you. All right. Apologize for that not being part of the minutes. Okay, next up, we have some financial reports.
In your packet, you should have the financials up till the end of July, and it's just normal spending. We're still very early in the year where like I said, we only used 38% of our program budget. So we're still doing very well.
Okay.
Um, Since we don't have a full-time meal site manager yet, right?
No,
And we are almost a quarter down with, for the FY '26?
well, some of that money is being used currently for current kitchen staff, so some of it is being expended.
Right, but we're gonna be expending less because we're already almost a quarter in.
Right, and towards the end of the year, we'll have to look at that and see, like I said, if there is monies left in there, we can transfer it. And, we'd have to get the approval of the select board to do that, but it would be later on at the end of the year. Because like I said, as of right now, we don't know if the full-time person is going to be at a higher rate, and that will expend those funds. Or, like I said, it's too early to tell.
Okay.
So I can't move them or do anything with them yet.
So you're saying you don't wanna, because my thought was, and I need to get some more clarification from the town manager, because at some point in the summer, you're posting that position as temporary, and then that went away, and now we're changing. So that position seems to be in flux. Would when we planned for this position to be full-time is so that we could expand the meal services. And the reason I was asking is, can we then expand those meal services, start offering those services to the seniors and hiring someone part-time so that, for me, is a missed opportunity on doing service for the seniors. And how can we do that a little more, efficiently so that we're not going into another quarter and that money is not spent?
I mean, like I said, it's in process right now. Hopefully, we'll be concluding with it very shortly, and we'll have somebody in that role, and we'll be able to continue on. But we have continued. The only thing we really haven't been able to accommodate is Friday's Meals on Wheels. But like I said, we are moving forward, and hopefully, that'll be taken care of soon.
Okay. So you weren't, when that position was sort of put forward by the previous, director, and I think the idea at the time was to offer, we have the 2 lunches and then offer 2 breakfasts, so that way every day there is a meal service here.
So
my-
I brought it forward for the full-time.
Hold on, let me just finish.
Okay.
That conversation full-time was happening past 2 years. My question is, when the full-time position becomes full-time, what is your plans in terms of what are the offerings that you're going to expand?
We're going to increase the nutritional services, but in what capacity, I'm not sure yet, because we were looking at whether we're going to do, breakfast each day. Are we doing several lunches each day? Are we doing a dinner once a month? Are we doing a dinner once a week? Like I said, we'd have to really, I'd have to sit down with the person, the meal site manager, and see where the needs are. We have a lot of that data, and see how we can move forward in the right direction. Like I said, my main focus right now is the Fridays for Meals on Wheels. But like I said, any type of nutritional services we can offer. But we also are going to offer more than just meals, because we're going to offer classes. We're going to offer, nutritional programs. You have diabetes. What's a good meal to eat? What are good things to have? So it's going to be a lot more than just serving a breakfast or a meal.
Yeah, and that's my
Yeah.
question. What are the services that you're planning to offer? And
Yeah, programs and things like
so
that.
you don't have that finalized into
Well,
what
I
you
need
want to
to,
do?
yeah, I mean, I have a lot of things in my thoughts and minds. I would just need to share that with a meal site manager, things we'd like to do.
Okay.
We talked about your presentation that you made to the tri-board, and I guess I misunderstood. I thought you were going to bring that for us.
Oh, I did not bring that. It is online, the tri-board presentation.
I guess I misunderstood when we
Yeah.
talked. I thought you were going to bring that.
Okay.
I apologize.
No, I can grab the paperwork and
No,
give it
it's
to everybody.
it's okay. Maybe for the next meeting, you can have
Yeah.
it printed out for us.
Yeah, the tri-board meeting was great. We did get, I'll go into that later about feedback from it, but it was the first initial tri-board meeting. So the tri-board is the school committee, the finance committee, and the select board. And it was very, very initial budget figures going over. We've been asked to actually increase on that, some more year-to-year data, some more projections for FY '28 and '29. So like I said, it was just a very initial visit, and now we have something to build off of.
Okay, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
thought you were going to bring that.
Yeah.
I apologize. Okay,
Can I just, so I was in the tri-board meeting, and I saw your presentation, and I do have some questions.
oh, maybe we can,
And my question is, would you like me to tell you my questions, so then next time you can answer them? Or do you want to, how do you want me to do it? So that way when you present, you have the answers to these questions that I'll have.
Oh, I mean, you want to email them to me and I can take a look at them?
Okay, I can do
yeah,
that.
yeah, that would probably be
Right.
better.
Okay.
And then we'll have it in front of us. That'd be great. Okay, any update on caregiver connection?
We've got our
First
first lunch and learn coming
Yep,
next week.
Yep,
I have to touch base with our presenter. We're gonna offer grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Nope.
Nope, change your
Chicken and
mind.
broccoli Alfredo.
Chicken and broccoli Alfredo.
okay, all right.
All right, and,
Darn, I'm not coming now. I'm kidding.
I don't believe too many people have signed up yet.
Handful.
I really wish, I know this, I'm sure you can put it on our site and then everybody share this and blast it. It's kismet in this world. I borrowed my grandson's coming to visit and I needed to borrow a little wagon and somebody very graciously offered it to me. And in the process of talking, she's the caregiver for both her mother and her dad. Mom could make great use of our memory cafe, so I talked her into coming with Mom for that. Dad had a serious illness, they're caregivers to him. I told her about this caregiver connection. I emailed her and texted her, so she wants to join. And this is a young person who wouldn't necessarily have connections. And I think this is we need to catch these young caregivers that are now finding themselves caring for parents and caring for people that they weren't expecting to, that aren't going to necessarily be on the radar of looking at us. And we need
Right.
to find a way to get to those people, because they need this information. They're overwhelmed. She's overwhelmed.
Right.
And we had the nicest chat in my driveway. We had met at a lake event prior to it, so she knew who I was. And it was like, oh, wow, that would be wonderful. So we need to find a way to get this to the younger people who are the caregivers, because 9 out of 10, the person that's being caregiven is ill and not really looking at senior center stuff because they're stuck in their home or whatever. So if anybody has any ideas,
How about the ledger?
I think the ledger would be great, but it might be too late to get it in the ledger for,
For
For
Wednesday.
this time, but we can,
For this
we
time.
can talk about the
Yeah.
program.
yeah,
I'll send it to Kara too, get it on the town webpage as well.
yes. If
Um,
we can try and get that information out.
Somebody want to contact the ledger, you folks that are,
Yeah, I'll call. I'll get in
All right.
touch with them.
And I don't know, maybe at the.
I mean, I'm thinking an article, not just the,
Yes,
not
Actually,
just this event.
Maybe Pam, if I talk to her, maybe Pam can come to this event next week.
that would be wonderful.
And
Yes.
then, even if we don't have large numbers at this event, at least Pam will be there and maybe she can do an article.
And the awareness
Yes.
that this program exists.
Yeah, I'll reach out to
Yeah.
Pam.
That would be great.
And one other
That would be
thing
good.
is, I received a solicitation through AARP, a card, about, are you a caregiver? Do you feel like you're alone in the world out there? Would you like to come for coffee and conversation and find out what resources there are? So I signed up quickly to go. I put it out to our little group. Deb is coming with me. You're gonna try and come, but it's tomorrow afternoon, I don't know. Like I said, I added her
Actually
to my
can't, I actually
reservation.
can't.
Okay, that's fine. I added her to my reservation. I said, they're not feeding us, they're giving us coffee. I'm just bringing an extra person. And I'm gonna go for my own purposes because I'm a caregiver to my mom, but also to see what resources they have out there, if it's something we could tap into or get them to be involved in what we're doing. So that's tomorrow.
That's a tea meeting, that's why I ended up not being able to.
No problem. That's why I said, we'll
Yeah.
just play it right to the last minute, and if you
Yep.
could,
No,
feel free to
I
come.
can't. I didn't realize it was a tea meeting.
That's okay.
Thank you. Okay, new hours, have we made a decision that that
Yeah.
is going to change in November?
Yeah, so November, December, January, February, we'll go back to Mondays 8 to 5 instead of 8 to 7. So we'll close a little bit earlier because, like I said, once it gets dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, nobody likes to come out, it's cold, it's dark, so we're going to, the only night we'll be open late will be on Wednesday nights. So we'll still have that one available night in order to reach out to the younger adults.
Pauline, with your wonderful skills, could you make me up a new thing for the kiosk, and I'll get that? Obviously, it's not, a big rush for that, but I'll get that done, and if we can swap them out.
Yep.
That's an easy change, yeah.
Thank you. Then we'll have two different ones. That'd be great, thank you. Okay, has anybody heard anything about our local hospital services? I have heard nothing. Anybody?
The only thing that I heard, and I think it happened since, was that the state allocated $5 million to give to these 13 communities that were affected by the closure in Ashoba Hospital, but they don't know how they're going to distribute.
Right.
They don't know the amounts that each community is going to get. I know that the fire chief had said that I don't know how he came up with this number, but around $250,000 in cost increase for Lunenburg since the hospital closed. So I don't know if that's going to be the allocation that we get. But that's all I have heard so far. Yeah,
I do know there were some board approvals in Groton last week, I believe, that they got something approved that needed to happen. So they're still on par for opening, on pace for opening, I believe, the end of 2026 is what they're hoping for, to be operational.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Bucky's Corner. has moved, as you probably noticed on your way in.
Yes, this was a very impromptu, quick change. Jack and Jane Rabbit and my husband John and I volunteered to clean the furniture. And we brought our green machines to clean the furniture. And I looked at the rug that Deb had said the town was gonna drop the carpet cleaner machine off for them to clean the carpets themselves. And that machine never got dropped off. And we were looking at the rug and said, we're not cleaning furniture and leaving that. So home my husband went for our Bissell. And while that furniture was all on the tile so that we could clean the carpet, we decided, let's just see what it looks like. And we saw what it looked like, and it didn't look too bad. The Lulu lift got thrown out the window, and we talked about, I don't see it feasible to make that front porch a program area, so we said, let's just try it and see what it looks like, see what the reaction is. So far, I haven't had heard any bad reaction. A lot of people like it. I believe that furniture is too big for that area. We would be much well served. We've gotten quotes from one company, and I was in shell shock at how expensive it is. But the difference is when it's the town purchasing this furniture, you have to go through certain channels. We need furniture that is going to hold up to, it needs to be cleanable. It needs to be sanitizable. And I was shocked at the cost that it came in at. There's another company we're reaching back out to that we need to get some pricing from. It's the company the library used. And I talked to
Here.
Muir, and he told me what the costs were of just the tables and chairs, and it was a whole lot less than the other. So that's part of my emailing that I'm going to be doing this afternoon, to reach out to that company to get some costs. And that's basically where we are. I've come in, I've seen people playing cribbage and whatnot out there. I'm not here often enough to say how often that gets used. Deb would be a better,
Yeah, quite a bit, and it's kind of fun because both sites are now full. It's like people are using both areas equally, so it's nice that, because before where the couches are was only 2 chairs, and nobody was ever sitting in them, basically.
those
So
two
now
are
it's
hard to
like,
get in and
there's a
out.
whole lot more action
Yeah.
in the foyer.
So it's still a work in progress. It's still nothing permanent. It could always be changed back if the consensus is it needs to be changed back and it doesn't work. There's only one way to find out is to try it, so that's what we did.
But we are very grateful to the Beals and the Rabbits for all of their cleaning. It smelled so great. All the stuff was taken off the floor, and it was nasty. So thank you so much. They
Yes.
spent a whole Friday afternoon doing this.
Any other input from anyone?
I appreciate that it's a work in progress. I'm not used to it yet, So, we'll see how it works
Yeah.
out. And, I do appreciate, one thing that it's in my mind was something that we discussed when we talked about what furniture to replace with. It was a very welcoming area when you walked in here, it felt like a home. And that's, I hope and wish that however we end with, we still are able to capture that.
Yeah, my vision of this is the 2 love seats is a lot. I'm thinking 5 chairs that are a smaller profile, still easy to get in and out of, living roomy like looking furniture, 3 across the windows and then 2 out with little tables in between so they can put their coffee down. But like I said, we're still trying to get pricing on different things. And we're looking at them saying, does this look like something I would like in my living room?
Right.
And a lot of them aren't, because these companies you're going to provide furniture for senior living, assisted living, hospitals.
Yeah, it's very
Yeah.
institutionalized.
But they're
looking.
not, they have a lot, like you can get a rolled arm, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that's what we're looking for. I don't want wood arms, because older people, even myself, your skin gets, it hurts your arms, because that's my mother's big complaint. Oh, that hurts my arms. So we're trying to be careful of that to make it feel.
Yeah.
You know, the furniture they put at the library is great for those kids because it's got all the plugs and we don't need that. I don't think too many people are coming with 6 devices they want to plug in and charge while they're here. But, you know, they offer all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, well, along those lines, I don't know if you all know the history of Bucky's Corner, do you? All right, well, Bucky was Bucky Padula, Leo Bucky Padula. And he was the husband of Mary Padula, who was our longtime town clerk. And then she became a senator, and she was arguably one of our more famous Lunenburg citizens. And her 100th birthday will be November 21st of this year. And because I'm one of these people that cares a lot about history, I thought it might be nice if we had, since Bucky's Corner is part of the history of this building, and I'm not saying it should remain the way it is. I'm staying out of that because people are making good decisions here. But I think part of the history should be preserved. So I'm thinking maybe we should start a new tradition, because here I go again. November 21st, being Mary Padula's 100th birthday, maybe we should have a Mary Padula Day. And I don't know how you think about that, but I think that one of our most famous citizens and who contributed so much to this center and to our town, I think we should honor her, and I think that should be, with your blessing, I think that should be maybe something that we consider doing as a regular event, thinking about other people that we can honor that have done a lot for this, particularly senior center, but for the town. For example, someone like Gene Hobbs, who basically built this center, but particularly I thought about Mary because her 100th birthday is coming up and because of Bucky's Corner, which she basically donated. So I don't know how you feel about that. Can you give me some input? What do you think?
You made me think of like President's Day, which, you know, is technically Washington's birthday, but we take it the time to celebrate all presidents. So Mary Padula Day, when you were saying, made me think of like a day to celebrate the, citizens that were very civic-minded, donated a lot of time and effort, and made a difference to the town, serving in their, as a public official. That's what made me think of when you said that.
What do you all think?
Sounds good.
I do I like the Mary Padula Day thing, so, specifically.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
I think it sounds great.
How would you celebrate? What do you have in mind?
Well, I'm hoping, I know Kathy Herrick is not a public speaker, but I'm hoping she would write a little something up that somebody would read for her. I was thinking about getting in touch with Bob Ebersole, having him write a little something. People that worked with Mary over the years. I know Jack Rabbit's dad, who was the mayor of Woburn, had a great relationship with Mary. And yes, and I know there are a lot of people that would be willing to contribute some memories of her. And I think it would be a great day to just celebrate her and what she's done for the community. I don't know if anybody else has any other ideas, but I think it would be
I wonder if Jean Larkin worked with her, because Jean Larkin
anybody,
served it,
yeah, anybody in town. I mean, I know that obviously if she was turning 100, there are not a lot of old timers left, but she had a great impact on this community, and I just think reaching out to people that would be able to speak about what she did for this community, I think would be great. We can get a lot of tributes, and
Yeah.
I just think it would be a nice day. I think that we don't do enough in town to celebrate people who have contributed greatly. And I don't know of anybody else in this town who rose to the top of being a state senator. And that's
Now,
a
would
pretty,
you include like the century at the same time, because she's turning 100?
she's passed away,
Oh, all right,
yeah.
didn't know that.
Yeah, she's passed away. But, and her children do not live around here,
Anywhere
but there
around
might be grandchildren, so I'll reach out to the family and see if there are grandchildren that might be around here.
Okay.
If that sounds reasonable to you?
Sounds good.
Interestingly, I just want to throw in an anecdote. Just to give you an idea of the reach of Mary Padula's name. I don't know how this even came about, but my father's second cousin was the treasurer of Westport, Mass. for about 30 years. And we just got to talking, and this was about 25 years ago, or 20 years ago. We just got to talking, and the name Mary Padula came up, and Eileen Martin was my father's second cousin. She said, I know Mary Padula. She knew Mary Padula very well. It was like, why would she know Mary Padula? I have no idea, even though she was a state senator. I don't know why she would know a state senator from Lunenburg, but she did know her. Was she involved in financial stuff before that? Like where a treasurer from other towns would have met her?
Yes, yeah. She was our town clerk for many, many years, and she probably attended a
Well-
bazillion.
Wasn't the town clerk in Lunenburg before the town accountant?
Yes, yes,
Okay,
yes, yes.
That could be why.
Yes.
That could be why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever mashup.
The town clerk used to do everything.
Right.
Before we had a town manager and all of that.
That's
So,
probably why,
yes.
probably conferences or what have
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting, okay.
She was the town for many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to do this, and we don't have anything on November 21st, which is a Friday yet, we could start
For the
reaching.
afternoon,
Yeah,
because I just don't know if it's the Memory Cafe or, I'd have to check the calendar.
okay.
Well, that's the week before
It's-
Thanksgiving. See, that's the question with Memory Cafe. Thanksgiving weekend would be the last Friday, so I'm
So
not
this
sure.
might be the Memory Cafe,
I'm not sure.
yeah.
We could
I
do
thought
it,
there was
we
something
could
that
do it in the
day.
morning?
That's when we do Memory Cafe.
Oh, in the afternoon then?
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, we do Memory Cafe in the morning.
Right,
Yeah.
right, well, I was
So the
thinking the
afternoon would
afternoon.
Yes, it would have to be the afternoon.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
thinking the afternoon.
Oh, that's also Festival of Trees.
oh, I knew that date sounded familiar.
All right, well, the 20th?
In the morning,
I don't know, I don't
yeah.
know your
I'll
November calendar.
have to check.
Okay, well,
I'll
let's
the-
check, but
Yeah,
in the meantime, we can start soliciting people to contribute to this. If you think it's a good idea, I just think that it's always good to have people celebrated in town. I don't think we do that enough. And she was probably our most prominent citizen for a very long time.
Yep.
All right. Master plan update and input. I'm sorry for the huge file that I sent you all. We're meeting tomorrow night, and they're looking for input. So, did you all get a chance to read this monstrosity?
Sort of.
All right, well, there's not a lot here that pertains to seniors, unfortunately. One of the things I want to bring back is that we discussed at the last meeting, we talked about moving to the not nice to have, but must have an assisted living.
That's one of my notes.
Okay, yeah.
Done how
So
they-
this is how they want to present this plan. It's going to be presented at the town meeting. And did you have any other input? This is farmers, this is small business, this is natural open spaces and recreation. There's not a ton of here that pertains to seniors. Did you have another note, Diane?
No, but my question is, this is all recommendations that
Right.
they are going to hand to who?
The way this is gonna work is, they're looking for input from the townspeople, from the committees, about what this plan should look like.
Like, where does this go?
This
from
is
here?
gonna go to, they're gonna structure this, bring it to town meeting, and then put the plan together.
Right.
So,
Because it said encourage
I know,
assisted living complex, and I'm thinking, okay,
yeah,
how are you going to?
I know,
So yesterday, I caught a few minutes of the planning board, and planning board owns the master plan process.
right,
And that was one of the items that Adam Burney now is part of the planning board. He used to be a planning
Right.
person. And this is one of the items that they talked about it. So, you know, as a role from the town, what we can do, according to his suggestion, is open that, you know, changing zoning so that you can open a facility like that anywhere in town. There'll be a way to facilitate, you know, that, you know.
Make it
that-
easier for them.
For them to
Yes.
open, making things by right and not by special permit or variances. Just by right, you can open a, you know, facility anywhere in town. And that is a way to facilitate that.
apparently it's different zoning in Wayland than it is in the rest of town.
I would think so.
Yeah,
because-
that's what they were pointing out, that for some reason it's different in Wayland, and it's harder in Wayland than it is elsewhere. So that would be.
And sometimes it has to do with, you know, density, like if you make a zoning rule that this must be at least, you know, at least 3 acres large and must have 3 times the parking for the number of residents, you are in fact prohibiting from happening in a more dense
Right.
area.
Right. So, I have to meet with them tomorrow night. I would just like to bring to them, we are saying that one of the things, not nice to have, but given that we have lost medical facilities, not nice to have, but we should have an assisted living. Is that the feeling of the board? I mean,
I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
okay, all right. Is there anything else that,
Because it'd be nice for those people to be able to stay in their
yes,
community and not have to go
right,
far away, because that's where the next
Right.
assisted living facility would be.
okay. Was there anything else that jumps out, or anything that even wasn't on here that should be on here? That there is a section about helping with tax breaks and all of that. That's on here, and I think that's represented fairly well. So I think that's covered. Is there anything else that, in the grand scheme of things, what else should we be doing for our seniors? That should be part of this plan. It has to be actionable, like what I think I mentioned before, one of the things that they talked about was making the town beach more accessible, and I said, that's not actionable, we can't do that, so it shouldn't be part of the plan. So it needs to be actionable. Anything else that you can think of that I should bring up for this meeting
So
from this committee?
I have a different document from the master plan. I had the spreadsheet.
Oh, I have that too, but this is the one they're addressing.
Right, and on that one, it had support community gathering space, assess, develop town green between TC passes and adult activity center for outdoor community space.
Right,
You know, we have a wonderful plan developed for Marshall Park, which addresses that.
I know.
And when we don't focus on things, and that one's going to have bathrooms, it's going to have, you know, more than a mile of walking paths, you know, accessible to all. And when we start like throwing in too many ideas and not focus on getting a few things done. I think that, I saw this and I'm like, this is just it's another distraction when we have already done really. So I had thoughts about this is, can we just pick a plan and do one before we start, so I had that feeling because, a town green space, I like the idea. It's not that I don't like the idea, but there are other needs than just having this idea of, we need a town green hidden behind a library in between two buildings. It doesn't really have that old town center that I think we used to think about it. But there are so many other needs when we're talking about open space, especially that are accessible for people, not just seniors. Like, I talk about this, as long as someone wants to hear, I'll keep talking. But, we have a lot of open land in Lunenburg.
Yeah, we do.
But we do not have accessible walking spaces. And it's not just for people with, limited mobility. It's actually for moms with young children. Like, my kids were 16 months apart. And, for many years, I was hauling around 2 kids, double stroller, backpack. And if you're a mom with 2 kids, you can't go for, a mile hike in the lane property. You need to have open space. You need to have. So I like the idea of town green, but it's just, I felt that idea there was, it was a nice to have and not one that's really well thought out in terms of a holistic plan of what is that we actually need to offer in terms of facilities for people, that is beyond, I love people that go mountain biking, but when it's not always the case. So anyway, that's.
Okay, I will bring that up. Any other reactions to any of this plan at all? Okay, thank you. All right, building permits for seniors.
Yes, so
We have a handout for
I
that.
I gave everyone a handout, and so this is kind of like just an outline of how it needs to work, what it would work, and more or less a write-up. This is under the authority of the select board, and I got the ideas, everything that we have talked about, and I put it on one page. And the process outline is something that I touched base briefly with Pauline and the building inspector, because a lot of times when we throw ideas out to the select board, they say, well, how would that work? So the process outline, it's simple, and the fine details of what does this form look like, what information is in it, all of that can be developed mostly by the building inspector once this is approved and it's approved. And I wanted to share this as an outline, get any feedback if we have any. And then if this is an okay thing with you all, I would then create a presentation, a short presentation that I'll review with you, and then we would make a plan, for the select board to put this on their agenda, and then we would go in front of the select board and ask them, for their blessing. And the numbers there were about 200 permits in Lunenburg issued for $10,000 and less. And I came up with a number that would be about 40 to 80 permits that would be for people that are 65 and older at the most. So that would be, maybe 2 permits a week in terms of overall work. It would not change the workflow for the building inspector. And in terms of cost, those 40 to 80 would be anywhere from $4,000 to $8,000 that we will not be collecting. And, and what I'm really trying to get, it's not just that, it's actually this service, kind of like what Jack is doing with helping seniors with their tax rebates, is really help inform our citizens. And I'll tell you a story that the building inspector told me, which was someone had a crack, it looked like a crack on their foundation. And they had someone come in and give them a quote. And it was $40,000, and then that contractor applied for a building permit. And the building inspector looked at it and asked some questions, and the building inspector, this is cosmetic, this is not actually a foundation problem, therefore you don't need a building permit. So when the work was done, that person came to the building inspector asking to close the building permit, and the building inspector said, you don't have a building permit because that was all cosmetic. So that person went in $40,000 on work that did not need to be done in their house. So this process of, how do we educate people, when you need to get a repair done, what do you do? How you do it? When is a building permit needed? Is it okay for you to ask if someone tells you, oh, you get the building permit in your name, should you do that? Yes or no? No, why? And that's really the conversation that I want us to have with our seniors, and so this free building permit for seniors is really a way to start talking with our seniors about these issues. And this is really just going to help. Ultimately, my goal is help people stay in their homes. So, giving them more information. My mother-in-law, she doesn't have my father-in-law passed. She's selling her house. She lives on the Cape, and she's 78, and she's buying a much smaller house, and she says, this is a big house, and it's too much for me to take care of it alone. I don't want it. So these are things that are in people's mind. And I want to create a relationship with our seniors that we are going to help them, give them information, and make all of that available. So it's not just the building permit that it's the goal, that the $60. It's everything else that comes with it. And those things play a role. I know, for example, Jack, after Jack has been pushing for having presentations here about tax break, and the assessor came and gave one a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, and she said on their last assessor's meeting that she got so many calls afterwards because of her presentation, including people that were saying to her, I think I'm eligible for the circuit breaker, but my accountant has not filed. Because the accountant's probably thinking, oh, they're not going to get any benefits from this. Well, it turns out you will. So, that is the value of giving information to our seniors and helping them. So, I know I just gave this paper to you all today. If you have any feedback, you can email me. And my goal would be to have a short presentation that, if that's the next step, we'll then go ask Select Board to approve this request.
I just want to make a general comment on building permits. We had some final work done, and I needed to get my certificate of compliance for conservation filed at the Registry of Deeds. And when I was picking it up, the guy that I was picking it up said, you should double check and make sure there's no open permits on your buildings. And I said, oh no, we did everything through a contractor, I'm all set. He said, well, let's look you up. 3 outstanding building permits for this project that we did 3 years ago, which I was shocked at. So the building inspector came yesterday and signed off on 2, and I talked to the plumbing this morning. Don't just assume, because this house, I'm hoping I leave feet first. So I don't want my children to be burdened when if they decide to sell my house, that they've got outstanding stuff. If you've had a building permit, you can very easily check with the town and find out if you have anything outstanding. Because, like I said, I wanted all the I's dotted and the T's crossed, and they wouldn't have been if this gentleman hadn't told me.
Yep.
So, just keep in mind.
Yeah, and that becomes
It's
a
due
problem
diligence.
too. Yeah, a problem when you go to sell the
Exactly.
property. So,
And it wouldn't be the first time I got bit in the butt.
right. So,
It's a small town, these committees, a lot of them are volunteers. Things don't happen necessarily the way they should, so do your due diligence so that when you decide to sell or refinance or whatever,
yep.
you've got everything in order.
So that's the value of the $65 building permit that, I want to start that conversation is,
Yes.
I haven't even thought about that. And my goal is to, once this is all said and done, is I'm going to sit with the building inspector and really create a, knowledge-based information that we can start handing out. And all of that. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, kitchen staffing update.
No update.
Okay.
They're still going through the process.
All right. Director's report.
Oh, we got a lot of stuff coming up.
Okay,
So first of all, in your package, you have the Sand for Seniors. Olivia, our firefighter Olivia, took care of this. It's all set and done. That information will be put out very shortly. There is a cutoff on it, all the information's on it, and that'll be all set and done. One other thing right off the top is I've been having these meetings with Mass DOT, and we are going to be pursuing a grant for unmet rides. So if you have somebody that needs to go to Emerson Hospital, our vans don't go there, we can take them. If somebody needs to go to Mass General. So we're looking at filling that need. So I'm working very diligently on that. As far as things coming up, I don't want to steal the Eagle House supporters' thunder over here, but on Friday, November 7th, Barbara also had a trip, the Eagle House supporters, Barbara was vital in doing this for us. They went to the Hardwick Winery. They had the best day, the weather was beautiful, they had a great trip, and everybody enjoyed it immensely. Their next trip they're doing is to Mohegan Sun for the New England Christmas Festival. This is a really big deal. You have a mission to get in. They've got over 400 artisans that set up at this. It's a 3-day event. They'll be going on the first day. So that trip is coming up. So if anybody's interested in that, we do have flyers hanging up. It's posted on our Facebook, and we'll be sharing that information out. We also have another trip that's coming up through Best of Times, and they're going to be going on November 13th to Davenport Yacht Club to see Absolute Queen. So if you are a Queen fan, this is your chance. Lunch is either a turkey dinner or a vegetable lasagna, so lunch is included in this, and Davenport is beautiful. It's always a great time. So starting for the rest of this month, so this Friday we have the Veterans Breakfast, but also on Friday, the Historical Society is doing the history of Lunenburg schools at 1 p.m. So if you're interested in the history of Lunenburg schools, we'll see you Friday at 1. The Healing Herbs started last night. Barbara attended that. Were you here, Diane? No. So there was 17 people have signed up for this program. So it went off very well. We're looking forward to having the new ones coming along. It's Monday evenings from 5 to 6:30. So if you are interested in learning more about herbs, please feel free to register and attend. There's plenty of room for everyone. On next Tuesday is our Grandparents' Day luncheon. Last Sunday was Grandparents' Day. And we have reached our max sign-up. So we're going to have entertainment with Bill McCarthy and have a lunch here. Wednesday, we have our first caregiver resource connection, which is going to be on effective advocating for your person, and lunch is provided. On Thursday, September 18th, we have our first Del Men's Club with Lou and Peter, and Peter's very excited. I'm not sure about Lou, but Peter's very excited about this.
And I am.
Who's Peter?
This is
Rabbit.
Jack.
Oh, Jack.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying,
Peter,
who?
Peter
Jack.
is a
Rabbit.
book, isn't it?
Yeah. Peter, Lincoln, Jack, Rabbit.
There you go.
Yeah.
Stop confusing. Okay.
No, this is me
Yeah.
excited. I'm excited.
Yeah, oh, good. Glad to hear it. So on Friday, the 19th, all programs have been canceled. So there's no programs being held here on the 19th, and that is so that they can set up for the Tea Party on Monday, September 22nd. So, and that being said, all Monday's programs are canceled as well. And the Tea Party, as Deb mentioned, is sold out. There are no tickets available. On Tuesday, the 23rd at 9 a.m. will be coffee with the police chief, but it's also our outdoor fun day. So we're having bocce, shuffleboard, horseshoes, cornhole. Hopefully the weather will cooperate and we'll have a lot of games out back and have a nice outdoor day. On Wednesday, September 24th at 10:30 If you're interested in any trips or traveling, Best of Times will be here to present their upcoming lineup for 2026. So, and this also includes more river cruises and also the Boston to Bermuda cruise, but also there's trips to Montana, there's local trips. So if you're interested in finding out what they've got coming up, it's at 10:30 on Wednesday, the 24th. Also on Wednesday, the 24th, will be our first community spaghetti supper. So that's going to be from 4 to 6, and we're hoping to see a lot of members of the community at that. It should be a fun night. We'll have some entertainment, and it'll be a good time. Friday, September 26th is our Memory Cafe. Those who were at our last Memory Cafe, there was upwards 30 individuals here. They were singing, they were dancing, they were laughing. It was a great time, and it was very heartfelt and moving. So if you do have a loved one with cognitive issues, feel free to bring them. It's a safe place, it's a fun place, and it's an enjoyable day out with your loved one. Monday, the 29th, the Historical Society is also doing another presentation on the life of George S. Boutwell. So if you're interested in that, we'll see you then. October 1st, our pickleball signups start. So first day of play is October 15th, and this year they're going to be able to play on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So it's going to be 3 days a week. From 8 to 9 will be advanced players, and from 9 to 11 will be open play. And you can sign up online at myactivecenter.com, and then you'll be notified as far as your game time. Starting on October 16th, we're going to offer foot care every other month. So Dr. Katie Jackson will be here, and you do need to call the center to sign up. There is a fee that is paid directly to her, but she will cut your nails and do foot care. Another new program that some of you have heard about already is we collaborated with the library, and we're doing Meals on Wheels book delivery program. So those who have Meals on Wheels delivered to their home can request reading materials if they like, history, if they like romance, whatever it is. And those books will be put together at the library, and our Meals on Wheels volunteers will deliver them to their homes. When they're done with them, they'll bring them back. Friday, October 3rd, the Women's Club is going to be holding their annual summer barbecue, so that will be here. Also, just a reminder, the Veterans Breakfast is the second Friday of every month. So if you know of a veteran, and they don't have to be a senior, they are more than welcome to come. We want all veterans to feel to come, and we'll have resources and things here for them as well. Bill Ozier from Devon's comes over from ClearPath, and some other individuals. So I encourage all veterans to attend. We are going to be closed Monday, October 13th for Columbus Day. On Wednesday, October 15th at 11:30, we're having a special lunch. Integrity Medicare Advisors will be presenting on all the Medicare programs that are being rolled out, the new programs. So if you're interested in learning more about new programs that are coming up for this open enrollment period, please sign up for the lunch. We do need you to sign up, though, so we know how much to set up for and how much to purchase for food. Also, on Wednesday, the 15th, at 10 o'clock is Boosting Brain Function Through Diet through Alexandra Walsh from MOC, Massachusetts Opportunity Council. So she'll be here doing that. On the Thursday, the 16th at 10 a.m., Healthy Lifestyle Choices as We Age. Lauren Perilla is actually a nurse here in Lunenburg, and she watched she watched the tri-board meeting, and she heard me say, I'm looking for more educational programs for more when you have a diagnosis of diabetes or heart issues or things like that. So she contacted me, and she's willing to do a program for us each month. So the first one she's doing is Healthy Lifestyle Choices as We Age, and she'll be, like I said, doing these on a monthly basis. Some of the ones she's talked about doing was vascular health, diabetes, heart health, advanced planning, and a lot more. So it'll be nice to have those educationals each month as they pertain to individuals. Festival of Trees is coming up. Once again, I'm going to burst Barbara's bubble over here. This is a fundraiser that's being done by the Eagle House supporters, and this is our first annual Festival of Trees. Basically, we're asking individuals and companies to decorate a tree. So you decorate the tree, you donate the tree to the Eagle House supporters. The trees will be on display. People can come in, buy raffle tickets, and enter a drawing to win the trees that they really like. And the trees don't necessarily need to be Christmas themed. So if your business has sunflowers, you could do a sunflower tree. If your business, if you want to do one for Alzheimer's, it can be all in purple. So you can decorate the theme of whatever you'd like, donate the tree, and then we'll have from 9 to 6, we'll have the viewing of all the trees. That's on a Friday, and on Saturday, Santa Claus is going to be here. We'll have some refreshments available, music. Like I said, we'll have a fun day on Saturday morning, and then we will draw for those trees, and the individuals can come pick up their trees. So it's a lot of fun. And then just a reminder that the newsletter is available online at mycommunityonline.com. And if you go to mycommunityonline.com, there is a button on the top right that says subscribe. If you put in your email, you will get the newsletter sent to you via email every month, and you usually get it about a week prior to the physical copies coming out. So that is that. And I think that is all I have.
Deb, can I
Yeah.
make a suggestion? When you, I think it's wonderful that we're sending out now possibility of people getting a book to read.
Yep.
Could you also consider doing audiobooks?
Oh, yeah, the library can,
Oh,
yes,
okay.
yeah, they do have audiobooks if that's one of their preferences. And also, too, if they just want magazines, whatever the library has available, they can request.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
My mom was an avid reader, and, she can't read now, so I can't tell you the number of audiobooks that we get for her. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Eagle House Supporters Report.
Okay, I want to thank Deb because she checked out almost all the things I have, which is fine because I'm not a public speaker. But if you want, you can check our Facebook page, the Eagle House Supporters. You can check the Council of Aging Facebook pages for all of the information. We have beautiful flyers that we have on there, so you get more information. The only other thing I would like to mention, along with the Festival of Trees, we're doing a blanket raffle, which the blankets are outside in the hallway of the senior center. So if you would like to come and take a look at them and take some chances, so far we've got quite a few people that are doing that, so I appreciate that. And all the money that we raise is going to go to the director, Deb Goodsalt, to support her programs. So thank you.
Well, thank you. You're doing an amazing job, and we really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Notices and communications. Seeing none. Any board comment? B-O-R-E-D comment? Any board comment? Now's your last chance. Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn? So moved. Second. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any discussion? All right, thank you all for being here.